Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission.
Everywhere I go, I want to teach a relational paradigm, a relational process paradigm. It's called the REP, okay? It's just a relational evangelism process, really simple. But I want to teach some of the skills on getting alongside people and then being able to speak into their life situation, their storylines, like Jesus did with people.
Yes. And people allowed him to speak into those storylines because they sense some, authenticity?
Oh, authenticity is a big part and one of the big values and themes that I have within the book. A lot of times we're thinking, hey, we need to tell someone, when I say you need to connect with somebody.
Yeah, that's a powerful point. And I think I really love how you keep bringing this back to this relational, authentic kind of situation where instead of that, clickbaity kind of feeling like, well, I got to go out and win souls, which we are called to do. Yes, but we are called to make disciples, and that comes through relationship. We share similar stories, I think, in that we do have a passion to go a little bit beyond our own little areas of comfort. And I mean, that's been my life for the last 23 years. I have been a Lao Wai, an old outsider, the Guailo, the foreign devil, ever in this Asian context. It has not been easy at times, but it brings me joy to walk with people on this journey. And yes, some pop in, pop out. You're not going to have that longer time, but those who have connected, some have taken. I remember there was one woman in the city of Dali, southwest China, west of where I used to live. And I used to go to that city. I'd take a 12-hour overnight sleeper bus, end up in the old city, the ancient city of Dali with 1,000-year-old 3 pagodas, play my guitar to Chinese tourists and sing Chinese songs. And people would throw some Chinese renminbi in the bag there, and I would pay for my trip. But I ended up meeting one of the locals, the ethnic Bai, B-A-I tribe. And there's this one particular woman who she became an older sister. I actually called her Jie. I said, Jie, when are you going to come and believe in Jesus? I kept telling her. I shared the whole gospel thoroughly with her. And it was fun and witty and authentic and relational. And she would always tell me, no, I'm never going to believe that. I can't believe that. I am an ethnic Bai person. We worship with our animists, worship the biggest tree or the rock in their village. And she said, I'll never believe it. Lost touch. And about 7 years later, I'm there with my wife and my daughter. We have a team from Southern California somewhere. And I've lost touch with her. But she walks by the restaurant I'm eating at. And she looks at me and I look at her. I say, Jie, older sister. She said, Zhong Dawei. That's my Chinese name. And this is all in Chinese that we're speaking. And she said, I want you to know that I believe in Jesus now. I'm attending a church and part of a discipleship group.
Awesome.
I never saw how that happened. It was this, later in life, one of my local missionaries within Reach Global, our ministry here, said, Zhong Dawei, my Chinese name, keep sowing the seed. The harvest is in the seed, and the seed knows what to do. I saw that so true of that reality through that authentic relational aspect. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but you really remind me of that story.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Yeah, just think if we have Christians who are deepening relationships with unbelieving people. We kind of talk about deepening relationships with our small group, right? With our little fellowship group.
Yes.
But how deep of relationships do we have with others where we can get to just as what you were just talking to, where she is actually articulating, expressing where she is and kind of where she is as far as her faith and why she doesn't believe. Well, gosh, she's processing. She's thinking about that.
That's valid.
If you don't get to this deeper place about what they really believe and think, and that you find them wrestling, you will never unhinge them from where they need to go. And so the Spirit is working in every one of those. But again, I always say it's so funny. You can kind of talk to somebody when you first meet them, and you can kind of have this superficial talk. But man, it can. And believe me, I'm pretty relational, evangelistic focused focused guy, but I know you can only go so far early on in a relationship. You just can't get, you don't have the trust that supports this deeper dialogue that needs to happen. So that's why I really believe in the RIP so much. And I just think, if we taught people skills, disclosure's one of the skills that I want to teach Christians how to not just share the gospel news, which I want them to do, but I want them to actually share their life in a more honest way.
That's a powerful aspect, your personal experience or testimony with Jesus, right?
Yes. And not just, hey, what happened 20 years ago before I was a Christian, but what is happening now?
Yeah.
Why do I need Jesus now?
Yeah.
And I have this in the book, and pastors have grabbed me with this line in Soul Whisperer. They've kind of said like, oh gosh, but I say this: I always want the non-believer to think that they are better than me.
I appreciate that authenticity right there, Gary, because I think it comes across that once you have become so matured in your Christian faith, you almost, it sounds ugly, sacrilegious even, to say you don't really need Jesus anymore.
Yeah.
Is that the goal? Is that the goal of our maturity in our Christian faith? Or is it that it's completely, the world's flipped upside down, and the more we know Jesus, the more we realize our need of him and our great brokenness?
It's so true. The more we move into the light, the more we see our darkness. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that is true.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission. This podcast is powered by Within Reach Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.